in my neighborhood, we're trying to take care of that little bitty creature that takes care of us, that makes sure we have abundance of beauty around us and food, and takes care of nature. And that little baby, if it ever goes away, we're dead meat. That's all I can say. It's the bee. It's the honeybee. Chris Ross, president and researcher of Apis Rescue, and Aisha, I was close. Tap Ross, secretary researcher, Apis Rescue. Apis, talk about what you do.
Oh.
And wait, what is Apis? Like the name.
Apis is the Latin name for bee. So
there you go.
Even if you're talking about a bumblebee, it's going to start with Apis.
Apis, I didn't know that. That's so cool. But to talk about who you all are and what you do.
We're a local nonprofit. We focus mainly on education, research, and the community, the beekeeping community, and the community at large.
And we have a nice little beekeeping community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of. I was surprised because on Facebook there's even a beekeeping.
Yeah, there's quite a few in this area. It's a very large beekeeping community around here.
Yeah, I was really surprised because I have a little small apiary, and I was talking to them because mine does not thrive. I really do not know why. What's the main thing that you want people to know about bees? Because we have to have bees. People swat at them, and they don't want them to go. If you put chemicals on your yard, I know you want beautiful yards and things like that, but that will kill a bee quicker than anything.
Yeah, and that's not very good for them. Bees are great for pollination services, especially honeybees are great for agricultural pollination because they can be put in a box and moved around. And then they're also great ambassadors to open people's eyes and realize that we need pollinators because there are other pollinators that need help as well. Other bees are very important as well.
Yeah, so as we educate people about the honeybee and the issues with the honeybee, a lot of people are planting native pollinator gardens, which are not only helping the honeybees, but also helping native pollinators as well.
I mean, because if we had no bees, seriously, we would have no food.
It would be a different world.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love it when my little honeybees, I see them in my garden, and I'm like, go babies go, because I'm going to have a good year then. How do you all relocate honeybees and do all of that? I can remember once my dad was going to, I had put some of my furniture from my deck in my garden because I was getting something done, and I told my dad, look at that, that's a swarm, to get my stuff and bring it back, and he said, you've got bees all over it. And I said, no, I don't. My bees had swarmed. And so it was like 10,000 bees, and he was like, I'm not going over there. And the queen had left. What is swarm? Explain swarm.
Swarming is the natural reproductive process of bees. And when things are good, the honey's full of hive, and there's plenty of bees, the workers will decide to make a new queen. And then when that queen gets along a certain process, she's starting to pupate from the larval form into an actual bee. The old queen will leave with half of the hive and establish a new hive somewhere else.
Is it good or bad? Because I always thought a swarm was bad, because I'd be screaming, no swarming. Like, nobody is swarming, and I try to shake everybody back in a box and put them back in there. Yeah. What do you do?
Whether it's good or bad is a complicated question. If you're a beekeeper, you don't want your bees to leave, but it's good for reproduction of bees.
Maybe to split it. You all have some things coming up, right? That you want to invite the public to. I mean, some people are like, why in the world? Oh, look at that. That's another swarm. That's huge.
Yes.
This is from our swarm team. These are photos from our swarm team. We operate about a 25-person swarm team in the Louisville area and surrounding.
And that's a cheaper way to get bees, because when you pay for bees, it's expensive. Yeah. What events do you all have coming up?
We have the Louisville Research and Beekeeping Conference, which is one of those for you.
Oh, thank you. And so what do you do at this conference? Like, who can come?
Anybody can come. It's aimed more toward the intermediate to advanced beekeeper. We get popular speakers in the beekeeping community as well as researchers, and we kind of bring them together to bring those two sides of the field together.
Well, what do you want us to do? Like, okay, I'm crazy about bees, but what do you want just your average community member to do I guess, in order to help the bee population?
Being a good steward to the bees, educating yourself well if you're keeping bees is big. You know, planting those pollinator gardens is always great for all the pollinators.
Also, with our swarm team hotline, when you see a swarm, a lot of people don't know what to do when they see a honeybee swarm. We have a hotline that you can call. We have over 20 experienced beekeepers that are a part of our swarm team, and so the general public will see a swarm. They'll call the swarm team hotline, and then one of our beekeepers will come out and get that swarm and then take it back to their apiary. And so we don't, because if the swarm is left to find their own home, they can oftentimes find
in a house.
In a house, yeah, exactly.
They'll go wherever they can, and it may not be a good place.
Yes, yeah, and that's what you don't want, because once a swarm has relocated into your home, it's harder to get it out and it's more expensive.
Yeah,
and that also allows us to do research on these swarms, and we're researching to find better ways to combat diseases and pests.
And the honey is good from these bees, and it helps allergies if it's with it. And yeah, see, all these things don't hurt the bees. 502-338-0181. Did we forget something?
That's your number.
Oh. Is that your number?
It's fine. I take calls on that number as well, but we also
give me
have,
the number. I'm sorry.
Right there.
Here we go. I'm going to give you another number. 502-233-2145. If you didn't get it, just call me in the newsroom. Can I keep that?
Absolutely.
Okay. There you go. Just call. If you have a swarm or see a swarm, call me. I'll help you out. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and I'm going to keep that because I might call you.
Yeah.
Get some help with my bees. They do not thrive.